Hey everybody, it's Crystal and Amy here with Two West End Girls.
And we're starting off 2018 with looking through our diet and eating habits of 2017, and I'm restructuring my life to get back to eating a more Atkins-friendly, low-carb diet. Now it's a lot of times called keto, and there's also a variation of that too, where you have the paleo or the Paleolithic eating habits too, or eating diet way of eating. But anyway, I've got some tips and pointers and information that may help you along if you are continuing in this kind of direction for dieting. I am currently in a metabolic stall, which means my metabolism is slow. I've had a hard time trying to do induction to get myself back to a good weight where I want to be, where I'm happy with. So what I've done is I've gone through doing a heavier induction, which is called, from the Atkins book. He's got a lot of ways that he explains and is very helpful about helping you get through plateaus or stalls and weight loss. But for myself personally, I found one he had in there that was featuring the Kekwik and the Pawan fat fast and variations of that too. So for a couple of days, I have a more extreme way of dieting that I'm doing. We are not doctors, neither she nor I are doctors. These are just tips that we have from our experiences of dieting and trying to live a healthier lifestyle. So this is just recommendations we have personally. You should always consult your physician before you begin a weight loss regimen, which we have done. But please do that before you start any dieting. In the case today, though, I want to discuss with you a couple of pitfalls and tips or pointers that I have had with low-carb eating. I have discovered this time around, when I'm trying to get back to a very carb-conscious dieting, that some of the foods in the market are not what they used to be. When I first started Atkins in 2004, I had a lot easier time finding food labeling that was very clear about not adding sugars, not adding extra starches or carbohydrates to foods that we ate. But that's not necessarily the case anymore. I discovered that you should always read your labels. This is a bag of mozzarella cheese, and it's shredded. I've got a bag of Parmesan here, and it's shredded. And I've got another bag of Italian mix, and the same is true of cheddar too. Look closely at your labels. I noticed this a few weeks ago. Not all shredded cheeses have added potato starch or cornstarch to them, but I found several varieties and several different brands that do. This one in particular does not have added potato starch to it, but you should always go to the back and look at your ingredients below the nutrition panel and pay very close attention to any extra additives if you're doing Atkins, or if you're doing a keto or paleo. Well, paleo you wouldn't have dairy anyway, would you?
You don't have dairy.
But with keto, you also need to pay very close attention to what those ingredients are on the back of your labels, and look at the carb content again, because what was true 10 years ago or 15 years ago for me is not true today. It's not the same. So I'm having to look back very closely at labeling, and that's a pitfall or a problem that I'm experiencing. So I went back and looked at these, and I found they've added potato starch in. And for someone who's doing induction where the carbs all count, it might be very important to know that these extra starches and things added in could cause a weight loss stall where you don't lose weight and you get discouraged and you don't continue dieting. Another thing, this year, my husband and I have been living here, how many years? We moved here in 2003, in summer 2003,
yeah.
And my husband and I had a set of scales that we had, and we've had those scales since pretty much about that time. Okay. Well, last week my scales gave out, so Amy took the hit at the market and spent $40 on a new set of scales, and I'm glad that I did, because I am a person, and not everyone is this way, but I like to monitor my weight loss really well. And you need to make notes. If you do keep a dietary journal, it's very healthy, or it's very good to keep up with your weight loss that way. If you want to track and record, you'll notice foods that do tend to make you gain weight or do help you lose weight. And this one tracks not only your weight in pounds, it also gives you your BMI, your body mass index, it gives you your water weight, it gives you bone mass, it gives you caloric count to help maintain or to lose that weight too. And it has 4 buttons at the bottom too for goals. If you have someone, you can set their height and weight, and you can set their age, gender, and so forth, and you can do weight loss goals that way. So it's a pretty neat new tool that I've got, and I'm very happy about having that too. And that's, to me, a way of encouraging me. Now, not all people will be the same, but it's an encouraging thing for me. And let's see. Another thing too is, you notice we just got past Christmas and New Year, and through those holidays, my eating is not what it should have been. And I did enjoy gingerbread quite a bit this year, I must admit. Not as much as I have in years past, but as you could probably see from my gingerbread video, I did enjoy some candies and things like that.
Love some gingerbread.
I know, and I'm kind of paying for it a little bit now, especially when I'm trying to get back on track and get back to the eating healthy, which I've eaten healthy for many years. I've only had periods like when I was expecting children or things like that. I'd have phases that I go through where I might eat unhealthy for a couple months, and I'd get right back to my routine. So for over a decade, I have tried to eat Atkins and low carb and to stay within at least a couple of pounds, or in this case 20 or 30 pounds of my actual goal weight. And I'm at the point now where I just want to get that weight off. I'd like to be rid of the baby weight. It's been hanging around now for almost 12 years, so it's time to go. But through the holidays, talk to your family and talk to your friends, especially if you're like me, if you have birthdays where people celebrate birthdays, they get together for holidays, and they want you to eat what they've prepared. Try to find a nice way that you can converse with them, to open a little dialogue about what you can and can't eat and how you can try to stick to your regimen and still have a good occasion with them. So that's important that you think about that and they think about that too. I know sometimes I make my mom angry because I don't want to eat the cake that she's fixed because I'm trying to be healthy. And there's been times when I go ahead and just eat that piece of cake and you wind up regretting it later on. Try to stick to your regimen. Try to make them aware and try to think of this in the outlook in the long run and the goals that you have, that I want to lose this weight. I have to stick to my goals, and I need to stick to a dietary plan that I can live with for life. So that's important. That's critical. And trying not to have cheat days. You need to try to avoid those if possible. And if you do have to have one, know that you can get back to your regimen and stick with it and keep going on progressing to your goal weight. From here, I'm going to turn it over to Crystal and let her discuss some things that she's found out about healthier eating through 2018 so far.
Well, first of all, I'm not one to be talking about living a healthy lifestyle. It's pretty obvious that that's something that I haven't paid attention to for several years now. And it's time to get back on track, people.
I want to be back on track. She's not alone here. I'm the same way.
You know, having people like Amy and people to hold you accountable and people to be in it with you, it really helps a whole lot.
You need encouragement. You don't need to be put down when you're trying to lose weight. Definitely
so, at the first of the year, I started doing the keto-based diet, the ketogenic diet. It was a diet that originated in the 1920s to help children who had epilepsy. That's what it was basically made for. And when modern-day medicine came along, well, they kind of did away with all that. But anyway, just to give you a rundown of what the keto diet is, it is a diet simply based on proteins, fats, and carbs. The keto diet is a metabolic process that changes when you intake low amounts of carbs and high amounts of fat, which makes your body enter into what's called ketosis.
And I'm working really hard with the fat bombs myself to try to get back to a good, healthy regimen.
Where the body uses the stored fat for energy. You know, I found out since I've been doing this, since the first of the year, I have, and today is what, the 25th of January, I have dropped 21.5 pounds just being on this diet, doing away with the bread, the carbs, the pasta,
it's not
the
that
pizza.
You can't have those someday. But
but I choose not to.
And if you
the reason I choose not to is because I'm one of these people, if you do it once, you'll continually do it.
Enjoying it. It's like popcorn. It's like Coke Zeros and popcorn.
You know, I've had no soda, no sugar.
No caffeine.
Went to these kind of sugars.
Yeah, so we're looking at alternative sweeteners too.
So
right?
we're alternative things to do and things like that will make you feel better, make you feel healthier, make you feel better about yourself. I know that my goal is way out there, so 21 pounds is not even a start, but it's a big start for me. In 25 days, that's a huge start for me. So with the help of Amy, reading the labels, keeping a food journal diary. Amy has got like 6 of these things over here.
She and I were just discussing and going through my food journals from 2004, and we're discussing how Amy's diet changed and how Amy kept up and tracked things.
And back in 2004, I actually started this journey with her.
Yeah, we made our measurements of her weight back then and our goals.
I did well for a while, but then of course fell off track.
It's easy to fall away.
And but Amy is basically stuck with it, like she said, over a decade.
And watch those gateway foods. Watch those foods that tempt you so much. Try to find an alternative that is similar to those or as satisfactory as those that will help you. And if you do try keto or Atkins, you'll notice that when you reduce sugar, you reduce cravings a whole lot.
You
and
do.
Caffeine too.
I will have to admit, since I haven't had any soda or sugar, refined sugars and stuff like that, I have not had those cravings. I mean, I could sit here with Amy in a typical day and sit here and eat constantly the whole time I'm here. I mean, and I love food.
We like to cook. We like to cook.
I love
to
food.
eat.
Okay,
We do. We love food.
I love food.
That's
I mean, it's normal, but
Yeah.
but we're trying to get back to a better way of doing things, and we just want to share that with you. We'd like your feedback. We'd like to know what works for you.
Yes.
We'd like to know what ideas you may have.
And be on the lookout for newer products too. They're always innovative.
Share those with us.
I know that when I started Atkins in 2004, the mass production of Splenda and sucralose alternatives was kind of like an up and coming thing, and I just started to put that out. I want you to pay close attention to those labels again, because there is maltodextrin with this sucralose too, so that still adds about 1 carb back to each serving that you, like per packet or per teaspoon that you use of this. You're still getting some carbs there. I know that stevia, I think they still add dextrose to some of theirs, and sometimes they add says Ribiana, they'll add to those too. So watch for those additional carbs they use to help prevent it from caking up. Now they have liquid sweeteners. I found this one just the other day, and they also have erythritol. They have the Swerve replacement, and Splenda has got a erythritol brand too that just as well. And the Swerve, the erythritol, is supposed to be a naturally derived sugar. All of them have chemical ways they've been produced in a factory or otherwise, but this one's supposed to be a more natural alternative. It's supposed to be organic friendly. And it gets you close to the nicer volume that you have with regular baking. And when it browns, I've been told, and I've not used this extensively yet, so I don't know, but it helps you get like more of a chewy, cakey like feeling that you get with normal carbs or normal sugars. So that's a nice thing too. Do you have any other thoughts for us today, Kristen?
No, other than also packaged meats. We were just real quick on the packaged meats.
Watch the sugars and
watch
syrup.
the salt.
Yes,
Sodium's big on
nitrates.
Watch for
Nitrate's
the sodium.
bad.
Yeah, sodium and the different carbs or things that these may encounter. Like this right here is probably the best bacon that I've seen. Zero carbs.
Watch them, and watch for the naturally smoked ones too. And sometimes they still have nitrates added, but try to find the ones with minimal amounts of any of that, or what they label like carcinogens from the nitrates.
Right.
Watch all that stuff.
Yeah.
So
other than that, I think we just wanted to give a basic little rundown on 2018, healthier you, healthier eating.
Like I said, please comment. Let us know what you think.
Yeah, just working on yourself. You're just trying to be the best you can be, and that's what we're so much trying to do here. So we just wanted to share that with you. I think if you'll just stay tuned, Amy and I have got a little, 4 ingredient?
We're going to try to do a little quick keto friendly. It's
keto,
actually Atkins and
keto, Atkins, paleo, and vegan friendly
snack.
Snack.
Nice dessert.
A dessert. So stay tuned to West End Girls, guys. Thanks.
Mm-hmm.